Tanner Boser, this is probably the most winnable fight of the last 5 that he's had. I think if he underrates Aleksa Camur or discounts him, he's going to end up in a world of hurt. What do you think?
I 100% agree with you, Derek. I couldn't agree more. I'm even in the Boser camp on this one. I like him at light heavyweight. I like him being the faster, kind of slimmer version of himself because now he blends right in. And to that fact, Camur, this dude's a big dude, bro. So he's going to be a problem in there.
Yep.
And he's also very, very hungry with 2 losses on his record as well. So this is another fight, Derek. I'm glad these are the ones that weren't the consensus pick because they're so close back and forth. I can see Camur going in there, beating Boser up, really working the power, the pressure, and continuing to pressure him throughout the entire fight. For Tanner Boser, I can also see him being slick, using his own power, using the heavyweight power that came with him, and maybe catching a knockout. But these fights are very, very close. You can't discount one fighter or the other. Do you see this one hitting the ground at all, or are we in it for a slugfest?
You know, that was going to be a really big part. I was thinking about that a lot because that was a big part on who I was going to decide who I thought would win, right? And I felt like if Tanner Boser could really capitalize on some of the grappling deficiencies that Aleksa Camur has, I think that you really got to go Tanner Boser here. But then I was like, wait, how much offensive wrestling does Boser do? And then you look at it and you're like, none. Like he doesn't. He'll clinch you up, right? Which is fair, okay, but there's no offensive wrestling. And I think the problem is because a lot of his losses have come from him being put on his back. So you get a very winnable fight here. You get a fight where, generally speaking, if everything goes according to how we've seen these fights play out, it's going to be a standing fight with a lot of clinch work against the cage. Good news is Tanner Boser is the bigger fighter, which is good because you get to play off of that heavyweight experience. Bad news is Aleksa Camur is absolutely the more polished, slick striker, like by far. It's not even close, in my opinion, right here. And if he can get off and he can land the big shots, I feel like we've seen Boser, even though he's been at heavyweight, I feel like we see him struggle with the powerful guys, man. And Camur is not just fast. He's fast and powerful and has good movement and head movement. So what is the key to victory for Tanner Boser? Is it just pick him apart and try not to get hit? Like, I mean, what is your game plan? If you're his coach, what is your game plan?
I'm his coach, man. That's exactly it, Derek. Cut off the cage, clinch him up, and just bludgeon the kid until he doesn't really want to fight you anymore, and then you're in your kind of style of fight. That being said, this plays in my head, especially as of recently, Derek. We've seen a lot of the older kind of fighters get taken out by these young kids coming in, and this is one of those style of fights where Tanner Boser, as much as he's not at least in the media popularity anymore, he's a veteran nonetheless. This dude can squabble with the best of them. And Camur is coming up in the ranks and proving, even with his 2 losses, Nick Negumereanu and both William Knight, he survived both of them. He only took them all the way. So he's not a slouch at all. And I do think the speed's going to have a problem. So if I'm Tanner Boser, avoid the speed, shut him down, especially if he's throwing a jab, kick the front leg, something. Make him fight off his back foot and nullify that power and really start to work your own fight. You got to be feeling yourself on this one for Boser, but I don't know. I always say that with Boser, and sometimes he just doesn't perform to that kind of aspect. Do you see this one, Derek, actually coming in and being exciting, action-packed right off the jump, or are we in for another 3-round fight?
I think this is going to be action-packed. I think someone's going to be on their bike. Someone has to be on their bike because if these two sit and trade, someone's getting knocked out real quick. You know what I mean? So someone has to be on the bike. I do think that Tanner Boser is a highly, highly skilled fighter who I have backed in a majority of the fights that he has not won, which sours me a little bit from a wagering perspective. And, I mean, listen, if you cut off that cage and you start clinching him up, I just think you got to do work. I think if you let this fight stay at range, one of Camur's best striking aspects are his kicks. But Boser too. Boser is a kicking guy too. But whoever does the most impact to the body early, I think wins the fight, especially if this goes long. Because both of these guys, I can see having a little bit of an issue. Once rounds 2 and round 3 hit, they slow down. And it's like, ooh, okay, now we got to figure out. I'll just say, listen, I like Aleksa Camur. I'm actually going to take, and I know this is not going to be popular, I'm going to take a decision victory right here for Aleksa Camur. If you can go to a split against Nicholas Negumereanu, who is a pace machine, a warrior who eats a million shots without being damaged, and when you had that whole clinch battle, takedown battle against William Knight, you didn't get finished and you were able to muscle him around, I really like his prospects here. This is going to be my dog play on the night. Give me Aleksa Camur decision. How do you see it?
I actually really like Aleksa Camur in this one for all the reasons you're saying, Derek, but I'm going to rock with Tanner Boser. I think he's going to be able to win the long battle right here. So I'm taking him at that plus 150 decision, whether it's popular or not. I think the big body and the power that he's going to preside over in that cage against Camur is going to do wonders for Boser. Like I said, I like him in the distance, but we'll see that gas tank. We'll see how it fares at the end of the fight.
That's right. We will see.